What's up, marketers? In today's video, I'm going to be answering one of your most popular questions, which is how many ad accounts should a media buyer be able to manage at once? Now, if you've spent any time at all in this business, you already know that the real answer to this question is that it depends. Because no two businesses and no two ad accounts are the same, and they're all going to require varying degrees of effort, time, skill set, and frankly, scope. I've seen media buyers that were managing more than 50 ad accounts at once, and I've also seen media buyers that were only managing one ad account, even at an agency. By the way, in any circumstance, I think that more than 15 or 20 accounts per media buyer is just way too much, even for the smallest spends. And I'm gonna tell you why. So in this video, I'm gonna shed some light on how you can determine the right amount of ad accounts per media buyer. And I'm also gonna tell you the estimated amount of ad accounts we have for our media buyers at Thesis. And I'm gonna show you the amount of ad accounts that I've had at varying points in my career. So the first thing you're gonna need to do is determine the actual scope for your media buyer. The actual workload for your media buyers is going to be the ultimate determination of how many ad accounts they can manage. And sometimes it's going to vary from ad account to ad account. But really, you have to determine what you are expecting of your media buyer. So are they just going to be Facebook Ads Manager button pushers? Or are they also going to be doing the creative strategy, doing the landing page strategy, doing all the ad copy for the ads, doing all the client comms, doing all the reporting? You also have to think about how many platforms the media buyer is going to be running. So are they just doing Facebook ads, or are they also doing Pinterest ads, TikTok ads, Snapchat ads, or Google ads? If you have a media buyer who is just doing button pushing in a single ad account, then yeah, they're gonna be able to handle more ad accounts as opposed to someone who is doing TikTok ads, Facebook ads, Snapchat ads, and doing all the client comms, building out the reporting, doing the creative strategy. There are a lot of things that fall underneath this umbrella term of the media buyer that I find a lot of agencies and brand owners don't really consider. So you really have to have that scope ironed out. The second thing that you're gonna have to determine is the amount of time and effort needed for each ad account realistically. And there are a few different ways that agencies do this. The first one is simply just looking at the monthly spend, because there is a huge difference from managing an ad account that only spends 10K per month as opposed to one that is spending 500K per month. For ad accounts that are spending less than 100K per month, I'm gonna be honest, I'm really only making optimizations 2 to 3 times a week, and a bulk of that is by adding new creative tests. And for accounts that are 10K or less per month, I'm only really making optimizations a few times a week, 1 to 2 at most, and generally those are only for creative test launches and bringing up and down the budgets on certain ad sets. But again, all of this goes back to what the actual scope is too. So if you have someone managing multiple platforms and also doing the creative strategy, managing all the client comms, doing all the reporting, that is going to still be a sizable amount of work, even if they are not button pushing 8 hours a day. So at Thesis, our growth managers tend to manage anywhere from 3 to 5 accounts at once, with the idea that these accounts are spending 100K or more in spend on each platform. And typically this is going to be divided between social and search. So we don't have many growth managers that are doing both Facebook ads, TikTok ads, Snapchat ads, and Google ads. We tend to have that split. These growth managers are also expected to own the client relationship and manage all the comms, do the reporting, and also spearhead the creative strategy. We do have creative directors on all teams now because we found that this creative strategy was such a massive part, and we wanted to take that load a little bit off of the growth manager. So this is something that's like a bit in flux at the moment. Personally, in my career, I think the most amount of ad accounts that I have ever managed at once was probably around 11 or 12. And this was definitely split between the ad accounts that I was managing at my full-time role plus my freelance accounts. And I would say this was a number of years ago. So at my full-time role, I was primarily managing accounts that had 50K per month or less in spend. And I wasn't doing as much of the creative strategy, but I was still owning that client relationship, doing all the button pushing and Facebook, Snapchat, and I was also doing the reporting. And I would say that that was definitely too much. The sweet spot I found for more of the traditional media buyer that, you know, maybe only manages Facebook ads, does a little bit of creative strategy, but not the full bulk, and maybe does a little bit of copy and owns the client relationship and does all the comms. I think that if they're managing ad accounts that are under 100K per month, I think that you could get away with somewhere around 5 to 7 ad accounts. But again, the actual scope and number of platforms and the expectations that you have of this media buyer are going to be the ultimate determination for that. And that's it. I am super curious about what you guys think of this episode. Let me know in the comments how many ad accounts you have managed at once at the most. Again, I've seen a few agencies that really bulk on tons of ad accounts onto people, and I don't think that's right. I think it's really a recipe for disaster. And I think, you know, the reason why I get asked this question so often is because people are overworked and the scope is unclear, or they end up doing much more than a regular media buyer is supposed to do. And that's why really determining that scope is the key here, and also just being clear with the people that are managing you. And that's it. I will see you guys next week. Bye.